Hey there, one cool camper! I am Nico, and today we're going to create a distance unit converter with animation. And if you're ready, let us start with it. Let's have a preview on our distance unit converter. The first part is the unit to be converted. When we click this, we have a metric system and imperial system implemented. In the second part, it is the unit to be converted into. And then add the value that we wanted to convert. And you will see that the converted value will have a 240 depending on the input that you have placed. Also, we have our animated car that moves from left to right depending on the converted value. And with that, let us start coding. First, let's open our Visual Studio Code. Then create your folder. And inside our folder, create your file, index.html. And then inside of our index.html, let's create our boilerplate with exclamation mark. And then change the title. And then, after that, let us open our live server to see the updates that we do. Then, for now, let's make a link for our CSS. So we will not go back for our head. It says styles.css. That's for later use. And then create our views. We still hold the converted value and make a title. Let's say distance unit converter. Okay, we have now our title right there. And then we will make the container for our input. Add input, make sure that it's the type of number, and then ID of input value 1. Oops, it should be inside. And then a placeholder to add text inside of it. And then let us add the select button. With the name of from ID, from unit, and ID of from unit as well. And then inside of it, you will have the option and have a label for it, naming it metric system. Okay, inside of that, select group, going to have different kind of options. It's going to become our meter. And let's add a label inside. And you could just copy 4 of this. Then change the inside to kilometer, centimeter, and then millimeter. So, kilometer, should be meter, meter, centimeter, and then millimeter. Okay. And with that, we're done with our first metric system. Second will become the imperial. We can just add another select group from this. Opt group. So we will place a label first inside. Its imperial system. Inside, have the option for inches, and then we just copy 3, and then add change the value on each of them. It's foot, and then change this as well. Next will be yard. The last one will be miles. Okay, with that, we have now our first selectable unit with metric and imperial system. Next, we need to make another one of this container to have the converted value. So to do that, you can just copy paste this one. The whole div of input container and change only the appropriate ones, like the ID, the placeholder, the name, and the ID. So that's 2. Two units. Okay, so we were done with the 2 converted value. The next going to create is the animation of the car. Animation. Inside, put a class of a road. So we will see the road later on. And then add an image with car and the art of car and the source right here. I have a link here for CDN. So just copy this and then paste in our source. So this is where I got from flaticon.com. So you could search there as well for few of your images or icons. Next is the paragraph that we're going to use inside of the road. Car, distance of the starting value, 0 and meter. After that, let's save and then add as well the script for our JavaScript later on. Then add source and then script.js. Okay, we are done with our HTML. Let us proceed on designing our HTML with the use of CSS. So in order for us to change the design, let's make use of our CSS. We're creating an editor file, styles.css. Make sure that your styles.css is corresponds to the link that you have right here. And then let's change the body first. Let's change the body. And then let's have a margin of 0. Make sure that in every website that we have or every browser that we open, it will remain the same on every browser. And then display flex, justify content, space around, and then let's add a height of 100 VH, and then make use of our align items, center, and to center it, and then background, let's make use of radial, and make sure that it should be in a circle mode. And I have a predefined, or I have some color palettes that I already have. So 01 for 0 AE, as well as another one of 001 F54. Okay, that will make our website to have this blue radial gradient in a circle. And then add a font family of Georgia, and then font size of say 24 pixel for every text that we have, as well as let's add a padding of 0. Make sure that there's no padding on every website there is. And then converter, and let's add a background color, let's say the linear gradient, and make use of this. So 2, and bottom to the right, and I have a color palette as well for this, a 979 DAC, and another color of 0353A4. So for now, we'll see that it's a little bit of squished. We'll change that later on, but for now, let's change the border radius of 10 pixel, so it will look a bit smoother to look at. And let's add box shadow of 0 and 4 pixel, 20 pixel, and RGBA of 0, 0, 0, and add a bit of blackish right there on the back of our container. And then let's make sure that our text are aligned onto the center. And then let's add as well a padding, 30 pixel. And then let's make sure our color is white, or let's say black. I think black is better. Okay, and then add a width of 600 pixel, so it looks that we have a bigger screen, or it maximizes the screen that we have. And then let's change the title, convert H3, and then add a font size of 36 pixel, and then a margin of 10 pixel, or say 30 pixel. Okay, for now I think that's fine. And then next, we want to change the input. So we want to have a little bit of spacing between these two. the two inputs that we have. Say input container add margin of 15 pixel and 0 on the left side, on the right side. Okay. Next, you also want to change the input inside of this. Want to change this? Let's make it a little bit bigger. So input and select. Let's have it bigger, font size of say 18 pixel. Could make it 20 pixel. And then let's add padding so it will look bigger, and then margin of 12 pixel. Then border, say 2 pixel solid, and then I have a corresponding color of FFF only. Okay, make it a bit light, and then border, radius of 5 pixel to make it smooth and not edgy. Okay, and then you want to add a transition of the border 0.3 seconds at ease. So the reason why we add that, so that when we click on it, it will move a bit smoothly. And if we also put this hover effect or the focus in here, and also for the select, add the focus. So when we just click on that, make sure that we will change something. Say the color of 35 B8 F8. I also have a color palette for that. And then click on this. Okay, I think I have a typo right here. And then for now, I think it should work. Okay. Next, you want to change the road as well. Road position, say absolute, and then the top 0 pixel, left of 0 pixel, and let's add our image, Earl, and then we're going to add a image source inside of our folder. So we want to create another folder here for our assets, images, and then I have a picture ready in my desktop. So we will use this one. The road.png. Okay, so we'll use this one. So images and road.png. And to make it appear, let us make use of the width. Let's make sure that it have a appropriate width 100% and height of 100%. So for now, you'll see something like this because it is now an absolute, and let's make it just a bit better. So background size of cover, and then let's add here just a border radius for now, 5 pixel. And to fix this, all we gotta do is to make sure that our class right here, the car animation, the parent of the road, is relative position. Let's say car animation, add a position right here of relative Save it. And you can see that it's relative only to the parent, and then the width of 100%, and then a height of 100 pixel only. Okay, now it looks smoother. And then for now, you could see that we have no car sighted. Let's see here. We should select this image. Let's say let's have an ID here of car. Make sure that we select this to make it pop in the top of the road. Okay, let's add ID of car, and then position absolute. Make sure that it's left, on the left of 0, and then the bottom a bit to the right. So you can see that it is now seeable. It's also change its height of 80 pixel, so it will appear smaller, and then the width of 80 pixel as well. Okay, and then make sure that add a transition for this one, so it will be smooth when we move this. Ease in and out, and with that, we can now have our car, and then let's also change the text that we have. So let's try to change that. Car distance, and then add a position absolute, and then bottom of negative 10 pixel, so below our car, and then make sure that it is on the left, and then have a color, because right now it's hard to see. Let's just add color of white, and then let's make it a bit smaller, the size of 16 pixel. Think that's good enough. Alright, and with that, we are finished with our styles, and now it looks elegant. We will now proceed for the functionality of our distance unit converter. To create the functionality, we're going to make use of our script. So in here, we have a script source right here, and we're going to create a file named as that script.js. And with that, you will now connect the script into our HTML. So the first thing we need in our functionality is to have the conversion rates. So let's make an object for that, const and conversion rates, and the object. And I will paste here all of the conversion rates that we need right here. So for every first unit that we have as meter example, it will have a corresponding unit it will convert into. So for meter, we have m, and equivalent to 1, it will multiply into that. And we have kilometer, centimeter, millimeter, inches, feet, yard, and miles. So each one of them has their corresponding object that it holds. Next, we're going for the functionality for our convert. So const convert and an arrow function. And then inside of this, we're going to make use of some objects or variables, inputs, and parse, float, and the document that get element, the ID, and then we're going to get the input value inside of 1, that value, and then inside of this, input of 2, parse float document that get element by ID and get the another input value 2 that value. Okay, next we're going to get the unit or the input inside of this value. So the select or the unit that we have here. So add the const from unit equals to document that get element by ID, and then add the from unit ID and only get the value. So copy this and just change this in 2. Okay, with that we have now selected all the 4 necessary things to change the value. So for now, let's make use of let result to make use of our changing factor. So if it's none, we'll change the input of 1 and then have a result of input 1 times the conversion rates from the value of from unit to the 2 unit, and then make sure to get the real-time document or the element of that input value. So get element by ID and then get the input value 2, that value. So we will change that into the result, that to fixed. Make sure that it will only have a 2 decimal places, and else if is none of input 2, we will use this instead. Result of input 2 times conversion rates to unit to from unit, and then get the corresponding input value of document that get element of input that input value of 1. Make sure to add a semi or double quotation right here, and we only get the value equals to the result of the 2 fixed. Make sure that it is only a 2 decimal number, and then if it's the result, we will make use of the animate car and put the result inside. Okay, and now let's make or create the functionality of animate car. So let's use function animate car, and then we need argument of distance. So let's get the value or the ID of the car. Let car is equals to document that get element by ID, add a car inside, and then let car distance text was to document that get element by ID of car distance. And then next is the converter. Document that query selector. We'll make use of our query selector right here. Then that for the class converter. And then I'm going to calculate the max car travel or the maximum travel for our car. So make use of convert. Then the client with minus the car client with minus 130. So that 130 is our offset to make sure that our car does not go overboard the road. So that should be max car travel. Okay, next is the maximum distance that our car can make. So max distance. So this is the base distance that we can have. So when we reach 1,000 on our converted unit, that is also the maximum that our car can go. So this is the scale of the car if you wanted to make the car go far. So let car distance was to math. That mean inside of this is the distance divided by the max distance for the car times the car or the max car travel for our max car travel. And then now we're going to do is change the car, or we'll make sure that the car will move with car that starts that left, and make use of our literal here and car distance for the pixel and car distance for the text. You will also change it into text content, and then distance we're going also getting the distance to fix of only two decimal numbers, and then we get the corresponding document that get element by ID from the 2 units or 2 unit. That value only get the value inside. So make sure that our template literals is inside, and then after that I'm going to make sure that everything is working with the use of the add event listener, that it will listen to the every input that we make. So document that get element by ID Then get the input value of 1, that add event listener, and then it will listen to the input we have and make use of the convert function. So add 3 more of this. Make sure to change the value of input value of into 2. So for that value, and then change this into a from unit, as well as this, make this into change because whenever we change the application for our select, it will also change when we click on that specific select element. And then this one change into to unit. Make sure to apply the change on our add event listener as well. So with that, I think we are done. So let's test it out. Let's make sure to our meter, let's add 50 right here. Okay, so we see the distance and see if it's moving. Let's make it a bit bigger. Let's say 150. So for now, I think our car is not moving. Let's try to debug some of this. I think the converter is not used. Okay, going to make use of converter right here. And I think with that, I think it's fine. Let's say 50 right here. And as you can see, our car also moved. So let's say 90. And let's change the metric. So from foot into inches. So with distance of over 1,000, it will not go over anymore. Say 200, the car will not go over the road. Okay, with that, our distance unit converter with animation is complete. Thanks for watching, Code Campers, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more coding insights and tutorials. Happy coding and see you in the next video.